This video is powered in part with Don'tForgetATowel.com. Check them out for all your nerdy news, podcasts, reviews, and more. Links in the description. Am I the soldier waiting upon the others to decide justice? Am I the priest praising the gods for the brutality? Am I the hero, rash, vainglorious, and unpredictable? No, I am the violence that begot this story. The violence that festers and feeds upon itself. The peasant was but one of my triumphs, and I will celebrate 1,000-fold before his blood turns dry. Who then are you? Well, this is buzzcarrot, and welcome to my official review of In Celebration of Violence. The way this works is I play the game, not necessarily to completion, but at least enough to get the feel, and I review it with these 4 specific categories: gameplay and controls, design and soundtrack, difficulty, replayability, all based on a 1 to 5 scaling. Then I wrap it up with a 1 to 10 overall score. Please subscribe for more reviews and Let's Plays on all of your favorite content. And without further delay, let's get started. Gameplay and controls. ICOV is a roguelike RPG that can even scratch that dungeon crawler hack and slash itch all in one. A rogue style game simply means that death is permanent. You get semi-random map generation, lots of cryptic items, potions, and collectibles to discover. None of them tell you what they do. Things like experience and achievements do carry over game to game, however. Frankly, the idea of a roguelike game requires you to learn by dying a lot. This game definitely fits that bill. The pacing of the game is rather slow and isn't meant for jumping on for 10 minutes to slice through enemies just for fun before you go to school. The combat of this game between swinging and parrying takes a bit of practice and precise timing. This is a game that takes time. While the button setup and controls are fairly straightforward, the consistency and timing is a bit to get used to. For gameplay and controls, I give this game a 3. Design and soundtrack. The graphics are fun and simple. It almost puts you in a strange, infinitely tall black cityscape with its choice of boundaries and walls that I kinda like. Although trees and rocks can get in your way from time to time, the game's simple graphics and sometimes undecipherable items and enemies can make up for itself in your curious side of gaming. I mean, what even is that I'm fighting? The soundtrack, however, is entrancing and mesmerizing. I found myself lost in its simple, almost nostalgic, eerie music choice. The game does have a suspenseful side to it. You can easily be walking around aimlessly for several minutes, only to suddenly encounter a horde of enemies that you can't handle. I find the music to fit this theme quite nicely. For design and soundtrack, I give this game a 4. Difficulty. I feel with roguelike games in general, there is a steep learning curve and difficulty scaling, and this game is no exception. ICOV wants you to die. That's how you learn to play. However, the only thing that would keep me from playing it to its completion is the difficulty spike. Say you have been playing for a few hours and you are starting to do better, only to be met with an eventual wave of enemies, or sometimes even just one enemy that you can't handle. It can sometimes feel defeating. I played this game for just under 10 hours, and I think I only unlocked about 3% of the game. Now, maybe I'm just not good at these kinds of games, but you can at least see how large this game is and how many things there are to unlock. I'm sure at some point in the game, it gets a hell of a lot easier, where you're mowing down enemies left and right with huge weapons. But I didn't get that far. I know one of the early access complaints for this game was that it was way too difficult, so I know the developers scaled it down, but I don't know if it's fun enough to finish. For difficulty, I give this game a 2. Replayability. Now, it may sound contradictory with the last category, but I will say that the replayability of ICOV is quite impressive. It's an RPG to its core. You can change your character, build your stats, decide the road you go. I always play a caster when it comes to RPG games, but I didn't even make it to any spells yet. There are so many options to choose and so many paths to take. With the random mapping and area generation, this game can be replayed over and over and over. I may never play it to its completion, but I will certainly pick it up again. For replayability, I give this game a 5. So there you have it. In Celebration of Violence was a fun game to play. I can't wait to play it for a few more hours, maybe to discover some of the spells to cast, but I probably won't play it to its completion. Overall, I give In Celebration of Violence a 6 out of 10. For those of you who love roguelike games, this RPG adaptation brings an interesting perspective. Good luck, don't be afraid to turn around that corner, and get ready to die. This has been buzzcarrot Review. See you next time.